very wise man, Jeremy Clarkson. Well, Jeremy Clarkson has said, I'm surrounded by farmers and plasterers and brickies and butchers, and all I hear all day long is that there is too much immigration.
The government has declared war on British farming. These aren't my words. They're Jeremy Clarkson's direct warning to Keir Starmer on live television that's sending shockwaves through Westminster.
And he said, but if they say this out loud, or if they go on a march, they are told by the London elite that they are far-right extremists or racist thugs. For the most part, he says, they're not. They're just people who know that they have to shut up when the last post is played and that a cheese rolling down a hill is funny.
Clarkson isn't just talking as a TV personality anymore. He's speaking as someone who's experienced firsthand how Labour's new 20% inheritance tax will force 70% of family farms to sell their land when parents die. The question is, are politicians deliberately targeting farmers, or are they simply clueless about rural Britain? Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great. Thank you so much. Now, back to the video.
They swapped the fields for the seafront of Llandudno to try to drive their point home.
You don't normally associate Jeremy Clarkson with farming activism. The man who built his career on the roar of engines and the smell of burning rubber has undergone one of the most unexpected transformations in British celebrity culture. From the petrolhead who once punched a producer over a steak dinner to a passionate defender of Britain's agricultural heartland, Clarkson's journey is as surprising as it is genuine. When he purchased Diddley Squat Farm in the Cotswolds in 2008, few could have predicted it would become the catalyst for his evolution into one of the country's most vocal farming advocates. The Amazon Prime show Clarkson's Farm was initially viewed by many as just another celebrity vanity project. Yet what unfolded over its seasons was the documentation of a man genuinely grappling with the harsh realities of modern British farming. Unlike the politicians in Westminster, Clarkson didn't need briefing papers to understand the agricultural crisis. He lived it. The endless bureaucracy, unpredictable weather, rising costs, and razor-thin profit margins became his daily reality, not just talking points. When extreme weather destroyed his crops, or when government regulations strangled his attempts to diversify, Clarkson wasn't experiencing these challenges from behind a desk in Whitehall. He was knee-deep in the mud with every other farmer in Britain. This first-hand experience has given Clarkson's criticism of the Labour government's policies a credibility that few other public figures can match. When Rachel Reeves announced her October budget, targeting farmers with inheritance tax changes, Clarkson didn't respond with abstract policy critiques. He responded with the righteous anger of someone who understands exactly what these changes mean for real people working the land. "I know you've been shafted today," he tweeted directly to farmers in the aftermath of the budget announcement, "but please don't despair. Just look after yourselves for 5 short years, and this shower will be gone." This wasn't just another celebrity offering meaningless platitudes. This was a man who had worked alongside farming communities long enough to understand their desperation. The contrast between Clarkson's hands-on experience and the apparent detachment of Keir Starmer and Rachel Reeves couldn't be more stark. While Clarkson spends his days battling to keep his farm profitable despite mounting challenges, Labour's leadership makes policy decisions that betray a fundamental lack of understanding about rural life. The inheritance tax changes don't just represent an inconvenience for wealthy landowners, they threaten the very fabric of British farming. Clarkson's criticism cuts to the heart of Labour's inconsistency. If they wanted to go after the likes of me, why didn't they impose the tax on people with other revenue streams? If your main job is farming, you're exempt. If it isn't, you aren't. This seemingly simple observation exposes the clumsy implementation of a policy allegedly aimed at fairness, but likely to cause widespread collateral damage. What makes Clarkson's intervention particularly powerful is that he's not defending his own interests. With his multiple revenue streams from television, publishing, and his farm shop, Clarkson himself can likely navigate these tax changes. His concern lies with the thousands of family farms that will be forced to sell parts of their land or their entire operations to meet inheritance tax bills. Breaking up farms that have been in families for generations, the real-world consequences of Labor's policy decisions extend far beyond tax receipts. When family farms are forced to sell, rural communities lose their economic and social anchors. Agricultural land gets swallowed up by large corporations or wealthy individuals looking for tax advantages. British food production, already under pressure from cheaper, less regulated imports, faces another existential threat. And once farmland is lost to development or non-agricultural use, it rarely returns to food production. What's particularly remarkable about Clarkson's transformation is that it wasn't planned. His journey from car enthusiast to agricultural advocate wasn't part of a carefully crafted personal rebrand. It emerged organically from his genuine experiences and the relationships he formed with the farming community. In a media landscape filled with manufactured authenticity, Clarkson's evolution stands out precisely because it wasn't strategic. It was sincere. This sincerity explains why Clarkson is willing to put his considerable public reputation on the line by directly confronting the Prime Minister. It's not about political point scoring or increasing viewership figures. It's about genuine concern for Britain's food security and the preservation of rural heritage that, once lost, can never be recovered. As the battle between Clarkson and Starmer's government intensifies, we're witnessing a rare moment in British politics, a celebrity using their platform not for personal gain, but to expose a fundamental disconnect between Westminster and rural Britain. Clarkson's vocal opposition to the inheritance tax changes has made him a genuine champion for farmers, who see in him someone who actually understands their plight. The November 19th protest in Westminster could prove pivotal, with farming organizations planning to attend and Clarkson expected to join them, possibly delivering a speech. This marks a crucial showdown. The potential economic devastation of these tax policies extends beyond mere finances. They threaten the very heritage and existence of farming families across Britain. What's particularly striking is how a man once known for racing sports cars has become the unexpected voice of rural Britain. Whether Starmer's government listens or not will reveal just how detached they truly are from those who feed the nation. The battle lines are drawn, and Clarkson stands ready at the front line.